Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive with us.
It's great to be back.
Today, we're going to be traveling back in time,
Ooh, sounds fun.
uncovering this world of ancient rituals, and really thinking about how they still impact our lives today in ways we might not expect.
I like it.
So we're going to be exploring the book of Leviticus, specifically chapter 14,
Okay.
which details these purification rituals for people and even houses.
Interesting.
Have you ever stopped and thought about, what it would be like if your house could be declared unclean?
Yeah, it's kind of a fascinating thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
This is really all about the laws and rituals for purification, and it gives us a glimpse back then at how ancient societies viewed purity
Yeah.
and this connection between personal well-being and communal well-being.
So let's start with that personal purification.
Okay.
Leviticus 14 outlines all these steps for someone who has been healed from what they call leprosy,
Right.
which, of course, isn't the same thing that we think of when I think of leprosy today.
Right.
This was a term that encompassed all sorts of skin diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine you've recovered from the skin disease and you're ready to rejoin your community.
Okay.
But first, you need to undergo this purification ritual led by a priest.
That makes sense.
And this ritual involves some pretty interesting ingredients:
Oh,
live birds, cedar wood,
okay.
scarlet yarn, hyssop, and running water.
Wow. That's quite a collection.
Right, and so the priest would perform a ceremony where one bird was killed over a clay pot of running water.
Okay.
Then the live bird, along with that cedar wood, scarlet yarn, and hyssop, were dipped into the blood.
Huh. Okay.
And then the priest would sprinkle the person who's being cleansed 7 times with this mixture.
Wow, 7 times.
7 times. The number 7, of course, having this significance in ancient Israelite culture,
Yeah, definitely.
symbolizing completeness or perfection.
It seems like they were really trying to do something beyond just treating the physical symptoms.
Right, they were trying to get at something deeper.
Complete restoration.
Yeah, and the ritual didn't stop there.
Oh. What else happened?
The person being purified would then shave off all their hair,
Wow.
wash their clothes, bathe themselves in water, and then they had to wait outside the camp for 7 days.
So kind of like their own quarantine period.
Right. Talk about social distancing taken to a whole new level.
It's fascinating how some of these ancient practices kind of foreshadow what we do today.
Right
It
on.
really makes you think.
And then on the 7th day, they would shave again, and this time everything goes.
Oh, wow. Everything.
Head, beard, eyebrows, everything.
Wow.
More washing of the clothes, another bath, and finally they were considered clean.
So this was a pretty involved process.
Yes, and it didn't stop there either,
Oh, there's more.
because in addition to all this, they had to bring lambs, fine flour, and oil to the priest at the tabernacle.
Interesting.
It wasn't just about making themselves clean.
It sounds more like making things right with the community and with the divine as well. It's
Exactly.
really a multi-layered process.
And this is just for personal purification.
Wow, I can't imagine what they did for a house.
Well, actually, chapter 14 of Leviticus also covers a ritual for cleansing a house that was suspected of having a plague.
Oh, really? A plague.
And so imagine a priest coming to your house for a home inspection.
I'm thinking this isn't going to be like our modern home inspections.
No, not at all.
Hmm.
So if he found any signs of this plague, like greenish or reddish streaks on the walls.
Which actually sounds a lot like mold.
Right.
Even by today's standards, that would be a sign of some sort of problem.
Yeah, so then he would order everybody out of the house, seal it up for 7 days, and then come back for a follow-up.
Huh, that's interesting.
And if the problem had spread,
Oh, no.
then things got a little extreme.
What do you mean?
Well, they'd remove the infected stones, they'd scrape and replaster the walls, and in some cases, they would demolish the whole house.
Oh, wow. They weren't taking any chances.
No.
It really highlights their commitment to maintaining a healthy environment for everyone.
Right, and guess what? They used birds, cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet yarn in this house cleansing ritual, too.
Wow, really? You're kidding.
Well, almost like they saw this connection between purifying a person and purifying a space.
That's a really insightful observation.
Right. Both requiring this symbolic reset.
It does seem to suggest that they understood there's a link between our well-being and our surroundings.
I guess.
It makes you wonder, though, right? Like, we've gone through all this stuff about these rituals and how they did this for people and how they did this for houses. But what's it all mean for us today?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fascinating to think about these ancient rituals, but they do seem kind of strange to us now.
Yeah, they do.
But I think if we look closer, the ideas behind them are still really relevant.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, take the idea of purification in Leviticus.
Okay.
It was all about restoring wholeness,
Hmm.
physical, spiritual, and social.
And today, we talk about a holistic approach to health, recognizing that our well-being isn't just about our physical health, but about our mind, our body, how we connect with others.
So even though they didn't have, our modern ideas about mental health, they were still tapping into that.
Right. It's not just about the physical.
Exactly. And then think about that house cleansing ritual.
Okay.
Might seem pretty extreme to demolish a house because of mold,
Yeah, a little bit.
but it shows that they were thinking about environmental health.
Hmm.
And today, we might not tear down houses, but we have building codes, inspections, regulations to make sure our homes are safe and healthy.
Right. And I bet, back then, those priests were like the first home inspectors.
That's so true.
They were making sure that everything was up to code.
It's like those ancient rituals were early versions of our modern public health ideas.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to put it.
And let's not forget all that symbolism woven into these rituals.
Yeah, the cedar wood, the scarlet yarn, the hyssop, they
Yeah.
weren't just random ingredients. They actually had meaning behind them.
Right? It wasn't just about those physical actions.
Mhm.
Those elements were a powerful reminder of the transformation that was happening on a deeper level.
Precisely. And, we might not use those specific symbols today,
Yeah.
but rituals and symbolic actions, they still have a big impact on us.
Oh, definitely.
Think about like lighting a candle for a loved one,
Yeah.
taking a walk in nature to clear your head.
Or even just like creating a morning routine.
Yeah, exactly.
These actions affect our well-being,
Yeah.
even if they don't involve, birds and cedar wood.
Right. It's about the intention behind it.
It's interesting, too, how these rituals from Leviticus also highlight the importance of community.
Oh, definitely.
And think about the priest's role in all of this.
Yeah, they weren't just religious figures. They were kind of like the community leaders for health and well-being.
So who do you think is like the priest in our modern world?
That's a tough one. I mean, it's not a perfect comparison, but we could
not.
think about healthcare workers, counselors, therapists,
Oh, yeah.
social workers, community leaders.
So anyone who plays a role in supporting our well-being.
Exactly, whether it's physical, mental, or social.
It's like they've inherited some of those ancient responsibilities, helping us navigate challenges and find wholeness in today's world.
Yes, and just like that priest in Leviticus decided when someone was truly clean,
Right.
we rely on experts to guide us, set standards, and help us make those informed decisions about our health and safety.
So even though we're not sacrificing lambs or tearing down our houses for a week, I think the core principles of Leviticus 14 are still with us.
Yeah, I think so too.
That emphasis on holistic health, the importance of a healthy environment, and the power of ritual and community.
Right, and those ideas have really stood the test of time.
It's amazing how these ancient texts offer such timeless wisdom.
It really is. It's like by exploring them, we find echoes of our own experiences, our challenges, our hopes.
Even across thousands of years and completely different cultures.
It's incredible.
So true. And before we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave our listeners with one final thought-provoking question. Could modern rituals, whether they're, personal or something we do as a community, help us face challenges or mark transitions in our lives? Or even just boost our well-being in a way that kind of echoes that ancient wisdom that we've been talking about from Leviticus?
That's a really great question to think about.
Yeah.
It really encourages us to think about how we can create our own rituals or rediscover old ones that can bring meaning and purpose to our lives.
Yeah.
Maybe it's through mindfulness practices or expressing ourselves creatively or even just connecting with loved ones in those really meaningful ways.
What a perfect note to end on.
I think so too.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of ancient rituals and how they still resonate with us today.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We hope you've discovered a new perspective on the lasting power of these practices.
You maybe even been inspired to create some of your own.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep diving deep.